Good morning and welcome to Seaworld in Orlando. So we're on the outside now, coming shortly up to the entrance. On the right hand side you can see the Renaissance Resort Hotel. All these wonderful palm trees around. There's something I do notice they do tend to have quite a lot of that in a lot of the theme parks over here, especially in Seaworld. And it's a very, very beautiful looking park. Lots of flowers, trees, plants. Wonderful scenery within. Now we're just approaching the outside entrance where you're going to see this wonderful little piece of scenery here with the famous lighthouse, the static sea lions and waves, the wave maker. Makes it look like you're actually by the sea itself. Once we're through the security and the turnstiles, we're then faced with the other side of the lighthouse. Shows up nice in the morning. You'll get some good shots from this side here. Those people to the right of me are standing on that little bridge area, which gives them a really good photo opportunity. So all behind that is the car park, the gigantic car park, and behind that is Sea Harbour Boulevard, and further behind that is International Drive. So this is kind of sort of halfway between the International Drive area. It's a beautiful day today. Once you get through this park, don't forget to pick up your park map. You see a few people holding that. They tend to disappear as time goes on into your back pocket, into your rucksack. They got 3 coasters here. This is the first one. And this is called the Manta. It's quite an unusual one because you kind of, you're flying around. Is it on your belly? You're kind of hanging from it, but face down, sort of in an unusual position, as if you're sort of like in flight, like Superman. You'll see what I mean. There we go. It's an unusual incline as well, by the way you're facing. And there we go, you're literally like head first. Your feet seem to be behind you. They all seem to be blue. I mean, obviously that fits in with the Seaworld colours. It works very well as well. There you go. You see the Sky Tower in the background there. You get a 360-degree view of the actual park itself. You pay a little bit extra. There's not many rides in the park that you have to pay extra for. That's just one of the, probably the only one that you do actually have to pay extra for. So I think there's also some sort of like pedal flamingo boats out there as well that you might pay an extra charge for, apart from which everything else is completely free once you've gone past the turnstiles. I think that vacation experience is also a place where you might pop in and see them with your ticket, your day's ticket, and you should be able to get a second day's ticket. Do check that on entering. They may not do it now, they might still do it. Can anybody spot the squirrel in the background there, or just coming up to it? We're now approaching the journey to Atlantis, the first ride that I ever went on when I came over to the USA. First ride, and I got absolutely completely soaked. Here we are, we're going to take a closer look at it. And people also pay, put money in or get tokens out so that they can actually further add to your water discomfort, so they can spray you with these cannons if they so wish. Fortunately, the weather is usually very hot out here, so you dry off pretty quickly. If you want a refreshing experience, this is the place to be.
Get wet.
May I have your attention? For your safety, please do not sit on or climb over the fence surrounding Journey to Atlantis. Thank you for your cooperation.
And don't you just love all these wonderful little areas, waterfalls, beautiful scenery, isn't it? It really is. There's some little alligators over the side here. Hundreds of them, hundreds of them. You'll find a lot of these are native to Florida. They're everywhere. There are millions of them, literally millions of them. Alligators, sorry. Oh, there is, yeah.
And then there's 7, and then there's 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11. There's some in the water over there. And then there's...
Yeah, I don't know if they have large. I've seen lots and lots of little ones over here. A couple over the back there. They're very sweet. I call them very sweet. They are at that age, and then they just get bigger and bigger. Looking like a seal or something, so we can find. Pardon? Yeah, that's cool. We'll do that. Lots of picturesque walkways. I mean, every part that you stand within this park is a picture in itself, isn't it? And we're going to head towards the underwater viewing area of the dolphins.
You want your belly rub?
You can feed them as well. There's certain times of the day where you can actually feed them and stroke them.
No, that's a human thing. There you go.
How long do you pass?
How many minutes for the dolphin encounter? The whole thing is 15 minutes, and about 5 minutes of that is touching.
5 minutes. Wait,
Yeah, it's got a stick. Yeah, I see it.
so happy.
Take I don't want. Last year. Oh, I want to play craps with you. Yeah. I think I want to play craps. Now it's Nick. They let you. That's all I know. I saw some.
More trees, plants, flowers, walkways. Just outside the dolphin area. All these lovely little buildings and little shacks. And probably shops and restaurants. Isn't that wonderful? And just like Epcot and Busch Gardens, this is another place for all your flowers and plants. I do like all that sort of thing. So, and nice walkways as well. Nicely done. It's inside one of the many aquariums and underwater viewing areas that you'll find within the park.
Not those ones. One, a little one. Look. That's not a turtle. Yes, it is. It's a hammerhead. There you go. You got it. Hammerhead. I was gonna say that, Kim.
There's a load of stingrays here. And we're now heading towards the penguin area here. If you want to get cold, this is certainly a place to be. Actually, if you want to cool off in the extreme hot weather, it is certainly a place to come to. The penguin encounter, or whatever they call it now. There is a ride if you want to go on the ride. You can bypass that if you want to go straight and see the penguins. But otherwise, there is a ride that kind of spins you around and takes you through this animated penguin story. Is it called Puck, the penguin? And eventually takes you to this area, extremely freezing cold area. The penguins love it. You might not for too long. After a while, you'll realise just how cold it is and want to leave. But it's a lovely experience all the same, though. And we're now leaving the penguin area, and we're going to be heading towards the Pacific Point Preserve, which is where all the sea lions are. And a lot of these are rescued sea lions as well. And think after a while they have a program that releases them, or some of them, back into the wild. Those that can be released, they release them back into the wild, which is nice. Now around the trees area you can actually shelter from the sun. Yes, from the sun, not the rain. The sun gets very hot at times, and it's quite nice to have that sanctuary. But round the Pacific Point area, although you probably won't spend too much time there, it gets very, very hot. As I said before, the gardens and walkways, they're very picturesque. Just to simply come here and visit and just walk around these particular areas is just worth it in itself. You don't have to go on any rides or any attractions. Just like a lot of the locals, they have a yearly pass to come in here, and I guess they probably look upon this as being part of their daily exercise, and which is lovely. I'd love to be able to do that every single day. That's the Kraken behind there. It's a floorless roller coaster, that one is. And here we are, the Sea Lion Pacific Point Preserve, and all the other guests. That's all those big white birds. They vary from ibis to mostly, I think most of these actually are egrets. They're related to the heron in the UK. You can feed the sea lions as well, and of course these white birds are going to also try and help themselves to your fish as well. Lots of nice little photo opportunities here. They'll do all sorts of things, these sea lions will, to get your attention once you've got the fish as well. They'll be slapping the water, obviously making the noises that they make. They're very sweet, they really are. And they're huge. Some of them are really, really big. Now the GoPro I'm using does tend to have this tendency of squeezing, especially the edges around it. Obviously gives it that fisheye look. So if I use the Osmo, it gives it a more natural look. You can play around with this and actually sort of straighten out the edges with it, and there are programs that will do that. Surprising how close you can get to some of these birds. They're almost tame, aren't they? They are actual real wild birds. But they're so used to human company. And you'll find this all over Florida, whatever type of birds and animals and squirrels and animals like that. They tend to stay a lot closer to you than they would elsewhere, I found. Take a note of the style of the lighting that's here. I've noticed this around like places in some of the seafood restaurants. They have that same lighting outside. The hanging ones. In here it's blue. It's astounding, it really is. And if you haven't been here, you need to be here, because the atmosphere is so is 10 times greater, 100 times greater than this.
You're listening to Waterfront Radio. Do you know that 500 million plastic straws are used every day in the U.S.? Well, check it out. Seaworld uses paper straws as part of our ongoing efforts to protect marine life that will be shared. Our mission is to see it here and save it there, from park to play. More music now on Waterfront Radio.
This is another lovely area as well, the harbour area. It's not actually a real harbour, but it looks like a real harbour, doesn't it, to an extent. It's a beautiful harbour. I wish we had harbours that look like this where I live. Not saying that we don't have nice harbours, but they don't quite look as picturesque as this. This is some sort of, is this their little village, isn't it, here? You almost seem to be guaranteed of bright blue skies, cloudless skies here. Extreme sunshine. It's not always, but most of the time it does seem to be like this. It does have its points when it does get overcast and it rains. They do have rainy seasons as well, but most of the time, 99 times out of 100, I can guarantee that the weather's going to be pretty good here. Very good. This is a new addition. It's only been here for about a year or a couple of years now. It's a river rapids ride. There have been lots of theme parks, and why not here? It fits perfectly here. It's got an unusual lift. And you get wet as well. Watch out, standing exactly at the point where I am at this point in time, you could get wet. This is the old hospitality area here. I think the hospitality house is still there, but it's now turned into a restaurant, which is good in some ways, but the expense goes up, and it means you just might not be going and visiting that particular building too much like you used to. It used to be where they used to have the free beer in there. Everybody remember the Budweiser beer? And the beer school behind that you could attend if you wanted. A little bit of fun it was. Gorgeous looking lake with the fountain in the middle there. It's kind of hidden out of view until you get right round to this particular area, and then it opens up to you. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that wonderful? I know I keep saying that, but I always say that in this park, and I always think that as well. And I'm not the only one either. You hear people of varying ages talking about how wonderful, how beautiful the place looks. Lots of blue roof buildings, lots and lots of them everywhere. Very apt, isn't it? I've noticed that. Look like lots of IHOPs, don't they? So you notice the lights again? I mean, I don't know so much, does it remind me like being by the seafront at all? I mean, I live close to the sea, and always have. So that's no, it doesn't look like a seaside to me. It looks like a theme park, and it's a great theme park. It's one of my favourite theme parks. This is, but it's very different than being by the actual sea itself. I wish our seaside looked like this. I'm going to wrap that up today. Thanks very much for watching. Do subscribe to my channel so you'll be up to date with all the latest. Stay safe. See you all again very soon on YouTube. Cheers.